Fundamentals of management. Second basic function of management. Second basic function of management. What is organizing? Organizing is a management function that enables human and physical resources to be combined and organized in order to accomplish the goals set out in the planning process. That is, the process of organizing and assigning work, authority, and resources among the people in the organization so that they can achieve the objectives of the organization. This is done through the development of an organizational structure to coordinate efforts of different groups of people and authority relations. This chapter focuses briefly on the organization, its basic principles, and practices. Basic elements of organizing. The term organization structure and design refer to the total set of elements that can be used to configure an organization. Each section sets out and explains the following elements: job specialization, departmentalization, reporting relationships, distribution of authority, and coordination. Job specialization. Job specialization is the first building block of the organization structure. Job specialization is the degree to which the overarching function of the organization is decomposed and separated into smaller components. 5 alternatives to job specialization. Job rotation is an alternative to job specialization, which includes gradually shifting workers from one work to another. Job enlargement is an alternative to job specialization, which increases the total number of tasks performed by workers. Job enrichment is an alternative to job specialization, which aims to maximize both the number of tasks the worker performs and the influence the worker has over the job. Job characteristics approach is an alternative to job specialization that implies that workers can be assessed and enhanced in 5 main dimensions, taking into consideration both the work environment and employee expectations. Work teams are an alternative to job specialization that enables the whole community to develop a work program that will be used to perform an interrelated series of tasks. The job characteristics approach suggests that jobs should be identified and strengthened in 5 key dimensions. Skill variety is the number of things that a person does in a job. Task identity, the degree to which the employees perform a complete or identifiable portion of the total work. Task significance is the perceived significance of the task. Autonomy is the degree of autonomy the worker has as to how the job is done. Feedback is the extent to which the worker knows how well the work is done. Departmentalization. Departmentalization, the second element of the organizational structure, is the grouping of workers according to some logical arrangement. The process of job grouping is called departmentalization. When organizations are limited, the owner-manager will directly oversee all those who work there. When an organization develops, however, the personal oversight of all workers develops more and more. As a result, new management positions are created to oversee the work of others. Employees are not randomly assigned to specific managers. Jobs are then organized according to some kind of plan. The rationale expressed in such a plan is the basis of all departmentalization. Bases of departmentalization. Functional departmentalization, grouping jobs involving the same activities or similar ones. Product departmentalization, grouping activities around product groups. Customer departmentalization, grouping activities to respond to particular customers or customer groups and communicate with them. Location departmentalization, grouping jobs according to defined geographic locations or areas. Reporting relationships. Reporting relationships. The third basic element of organizing is to establish relationships between positions in the reporting. This exercise is intended to explain the chain of command and the period of management. What needs to be clarified? Chain of command, a clear, distinct line of authority between an organization's positions. Span of management, the number of people reporting to a specific manager, also known as span of control. Differences between tall versus flat organizations. Flat organizational structure leads to higher levels of morale and productivity of employees. Tall organizational structures tend to be more expensive and require more managers. Distributing authority. Distributing authority is the determination of how authority is to be distributed among positions is another essential building block in structuring organizations. Authority is the power that the organization's legitimized. Two specific issues in addressing the distributing of authority. The delegation process. Delegation is a pattern of authority formed between a superior and one or more subordinates. Delegation is the method whereby a manager allocates a portion of his or her overall workload to others. It involves 3 steps. Step 1: assigning responsibility. Step 2: granting authority. Step 3: creating accountability. Decentralization and centralization. Organizations often establish authority patterns through a wide variety of departments and positions. Decentralization is the method of systemically delegating authority and power to middle and lower level managers in the organization. Centralization is the method of systematically maintaining authority and power in the hands of managers at higher levels. Coordinating activities. Coordination is the 5th major element of organizing. The method of integrating the activities of the various organization's departments. Need for coordination. The primary reason for coordination is that the work groups and the departments are interdependent. They rely on each other for information and support to carry out their respective work. The more interdependence, the more coordination that the organization needs between departments if departments are to be able to deliver effectively. Three major forms of interdependence. Pooled interdependence. When units operate with minimal interaction, their production is pooled on the level of the organization. The lowest level of interdependence. Sequential interdependence. When one unit's output becomes a sequential input for another. The moderate level of interdependence. Reciprocal interdependence exists when the events flow between units in both directions. This form is clearly the most complex of interdependence. Structural coordination techniques. Because of the obvious requirements of coordination that characterize most organizations, several techniques have been developed for achieving coordination. There are some of the most useful devices for coordination to maintain between interdependent units. Managerial hierarchy. Rules and procedures. Liaison roles. Task forces. Integrating departments. Electronic coordination. Advances in information technology also provide important mechanisms for coordination. For example, email makes it much easier for people to communicate with each other. This communication, in turn, improves coordination. Thank you. By Sarah V. Pagdanganam.